Welcome to Dakota Growing. I'm Kelsey Deckert, joined in the Radio Access Studio by my co-host Tom Kalb, NDSU Extension Horticulturalist, and we also have Hunter Gallagher back.
Thank you.
My NDSU Hort intern. She's in her last couple days. It's been pretty sad.
Oh, that is sad.
It has been.
I thought she was going to be an intern her whole life. You know,
Some of us do that, don't we?
But she's moving on. That's positive.
Mm-hmm. But I'm glad she was willing to join us one last time.
She survived summer.
Survived summer.
With you, huh, Kelsey? So, Hunter, you feel like this was a good summer? Was it productive? Did you learn anything this year?
Yeah, I learned a lot this summer.
You?
Yeah.
There you go. You had a pretty good mentor, I have to say.
Yeah.
So. What else you want to talk? Are you going to talk about something? What are you going to talk about today, anyhow?
Okay, yeah. So today I'm going to talk about composting.
Cool.
I don't know.
We're going to just dive right in.
Let's go, man. We got a lot to talk about today.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, I thought maybe this would be a good topic because, if people's gardens are maybe wrapping up for the season, it might be a good time to think about what to do with all that material.
Really? It's going to be 80s.
I was going to say,
Is there a frost coming? Do you know about?
I think you're going to talk about it later.
Frost?
Aren't you? Are you?
Frost? It's August.
I know.
If there's snow,
doomsayer,
are we having snow in September then?
I hope not.
Haven't you ever heard of global warming? We're not going to get a frost in August. Let's get real about this.
Okay.
But compost, because pretty soon the leaves are going to come down. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do with all of them.
I have been pulling my lettuce plants because they bolted. Yeah, but still waiting on the squash. I haven't dove into that jungle to see where things are at.
Yeah, we should talk about squash someday.
Should we?
Yeah, just real briefly, 1 second. On this side note, did you hear what's the state vegetable?
Yeah, rhubarb.
What is that about? Is that even a vegetable?
Why wouldn't
Who made that decision?
The legislators?
I was not consulted in this decision.
I know. I don't think anybody was. I don't know who.
I don't know if it's a vegetable. Because vegetables, you have it on the main dish on the side, served warm. That's generally
in a pie.
No, not a rhubarb. You don't have. Hey, Mom, can I have some roast beef and rhubarb? No.
Rhubarb pie served warm
with strawberries.
And ice
to make
cream
it
or
edible.
Cream.
They add the strawberries to make it edible. Yeah. The strawberry rhubarb.
Ice cream.
I don't know what rhubarb is. I'm a big rhubarb fan, but there's no way that's our squash.
That is our state vegetable.
Well,
they determined that.
We're gonna.
Are you gonna write the
governor?
Where's
Kelly Armstrong about this? Is that guy a gardener or what? Because if you were really a gardener and you knew the history of North Dakota.
You would go with squash.
I'd go 100% squash.
Yeah,
squash is
talked
native.
About the history, yes.
And squash, and their Native Americans, squash was so critical. Like one of the four sisters in the garden, and we developed squash that, like the buttercup squash, came out of the North Dakota Ag College. It breathes North Dakota.
You think somebody will hear this and pass it
along? We might have to
today?
have a special session. We might have to have a special session to deal with this and really get this right. Okay.
That was your rant to start off today? Okay.
Done ranting.
All right.
On to compost. And you can compost squash. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Pumpkins?
Yeah.
After your Halloween? Just step on them, stomp on them, and put them in the compost pile.
There you go.
It is a related topic.
It is. Mm-hmm. All right,
Let's go, Hunter. Sorry for the interruption.
No, you're good.
Educate our viewers today.
Important discussion going on. So composting is what I'll be talking about. So kind of just get right into it. What is composting? Just breaking down organic materials using microorganisms. That's
recycling, reusing.
Oh, that was beautiful, that stuff on the right. Man, that left is such garbage, and it turns into something magical there.
Mm-hmm.
It is magical.
Mm-hmm. So what to compost? We kind of break it down into two categories, greens and browns. So the greens are things like food scraps, weeds, and grass, and the browns are things like trees and branches and leaves. So those are kind of things to be on the lookout to compost, and the smaller the pieces the better, for sure. It'll make it easier for breaking down.
The one thing you got to tell our viewers though about grass clippings.
Okay, yes. if you've applied herbicide to your lawn, you cannot use the grass clippings, because then if you go and like put that on your garden, you're going to give herbicide damage to your vegetables.
Yeah, some of those chemicals take years.
Just follow the label on the herbicide. And
Yeah.
the herbicide, if it is a persistent herbicide, it'll tell you. It'll tell you.
Just
Don't
say, you know
use
what,
this.
I'm not going to use the grass clippings in the compost.
That's one thing.
Yeah,
Or just don't spray your lawn.
that too.
Have a beautiful wildflower lawn.
Easy. That's mine.
Pollinator
It's nice
lawn.
and green.
And yellow and white and pink. Lots of colors.
Yeah, Kelsey's on top of it with my next is what not to compost.
There we go.
So yeah, we've got like meat and grease, dairy products, pet waste, yard materials with chemical residue, and then diseased or infested plant parts. And that's just because some of these can like attract, rodents and raccoons. Some of them just don't break down well, and then other ones are not good if you're gonna put them back on your garden.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about composting, where do you begin? First, thinking about location, probably. So I have convenient area. What does that mean? That's super vague. It kind of is up to the individual person. Like, if you're gonna compost mainly your garden materials, maybe it's near the garden. If you're mainly doing food scraps, maybe it's closer to your house. Stuff like that. But in general, you want to avoid like a really wet area. Avoid standing water, because that just won't be good for like the decomposition. If it's always like soaking wet, no decomposition is really going to happen.
This was a good year to know where you have standing water, if you have any in your yard.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I recommend the backyard as opposed to the front yard
Yeah.
for my compost
You don't want
area.
those neighbors yelling at you.
Yeah. I don't want the raccoons in my front yard.
That's true too.
Yeah, and then another point with the location is like what sort of container, or you can make a heap if you want. You kind of want it to be either 3 by 3 by 3 to 5 by 5 by 5, so that's in that size range. And then you want a container that'll allow air movement and the ability to turn it.
I like your middle picture. We've talked about that in the past, how you can, like, that's your progression of moving it. Mm-hmm. So you start off in like the first bin. As it breaks down, move it to the second open area, and then your finished product should be in that third area when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's a great
Easy
progression
way.
to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also where to begin. What are you adding to the compost pile? So we kind of already talked your greens and your browns. So those provide nitrogen and carbon, which the microorganisms need in order to break stuff down. And then water is also really important. You want it to be damp but well drained. So generally, I saw, you should be able to like squeeze it like a wrung out sponge or something.
Right.
Maybe like a couple drops of water come out, but it's not a stream and it's not nothing. So that perfect
not
medium.
Mud and muck on your hands.
Yeah, you really got to
Yuck.
get in there. And then also we have aeration and temperature are important components. So you want to be turning the pile every once in a while. And then for the temperature, I mean, like most people I would say are not going to get out there with like a meat thermometer and stick that in the pile. But generally you want to be seeing higher temperatures.
Because that means it's going to decompose faster. Mm-hmm. And same with when you turn it, because all the heat's in the inside. So that's where the decomposition occurs. So we want to get that
in
thing
there,
going.
yep.
Otherwise, it could take years for that stuff to
Heat it up.
decompose. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so then we've got like maintenance of the pile. So turning, that just provides air, and then you're moving the materials on the outside inwards so that they can get in the center and get in that heat and start decomposing. Generally, it seems like every like 1 to 2 weeks you should be turning. And then watering just kind of as needed. Check that moisture level and see how much water your specific compost pile needs.
Very good.
And then timeline, like how long is this going to take to get from food scraps to my pile to like a finished product? Roughly, anywhere between like 4 weeks and 8 months. It can really depend based off, how much care you're putting into the compost pile, the types of materials you put in, the time of year can all affect the timeline of how long this will take.
So great fall, winter project to have a finish product come next spring.
Yeah, I would. Well, you got to keep it turning.
Right. I mean, you got to put the work in.
And the finer the material, that really makes a huge difference. And I think for most, it all depends. If you're just doing mainly grass clippings, that's really quick. But we're not going to use that now. So, but I think within 1 year is good. Some people have a cold compost pile. That means they never turn it, and then that can take a few years.
Yeah.
So it all depends how much work you want to put into it.
All right, and then you put all this work in the compost pile. When is it done? How to tell when it's done. The finished pile is normally a lot smaller size-wise than your initial pile. Normally like a third of the size. It'll be that dark, crumbly material. And then the original material should be unrecognizable. So if you put, potato peels and leaves and branches all in there, you should be able to recognize any of that.
You can't see anymore. Doesn't smell.
Yeah, shouldn't smell, really.
Just grab it. Stick it up in your nose. Take a whiff.
Get that earthy smell.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't recognize anything, it's ready to go.
There you go.
Perfect. And then, what are you going to do with it? What's the purpose? What are we going to do with the compost now that we have it? Mostly like a soil amendment. You can mix it into your garden or use it as a mulch or lawn top dressing.
It's great organic matter.
Got it. Yeah, it really builds up the structure of the soil, helps the buffering capacity. It's kind of like candy a little bit. A little bit's good, but a lot of it's not so good. So don't have your garden 100% compost. Just, what would you say, Hunter? Just about an inch or two and work it in?
Yeah, like a kind of like 1/4 ratio, if that makes sense.
In a raised bed situation, about 1/4 raised bed. Yep, that would be great.
Yeah, so getting in some of the benefits you guys already mentioned, really good ones. We've got increasing organic matter and fertility, probably our kind of number one obvious one. And then, improving the soil structure with water infiltration, things like that. Increasing the microorganism activity, retains moisture and nutrients, and then just reduces food waste. If that's something people are concerned about, you want to be more conscious of that. Composting is a good way to do that.
Sounds great.
And then troubleshooting. I feel like maybe if you have a existing compost pile and you're like, wow, it's not really doing anything. Maybe there's something wrong with it. You can kind of think about...
What's that about?
Yeah, think about some of these things. So if your pile has a bad odor, not really a great sign. It may be too wet or not have enough air. So what you should do is add more brown material and start turning the pile more often.
I agree. Stinky pile, it's no good.
Yeah, and then if your pile doesn't seem to have any decomposition happening, it may be too dry is a very common issue, it seems. So you should be making sure to add water every once in a while. And then if pests like rodents or dogs are interfering with your pile, you can bury the food waste into the center so it's not available on the top, or you can try to cover up the pile somehow.
Like put a wire barrier or something around the pile to keep the rodents out.
Yeah, and then if you notice that the pile is not heating up, if all the other things seem okay, but it's just not getting that temperature, the pile may be too small. We kind of talked about the size earlier. That size is to ensure that it gets to the correct temperatures. So, or it could be too dry. So add more green material or add water.
Very good.
Yeah.
You compost in the past ever? That's a no. Huh? That's a no.
Well, I got a long life behind me, so it takes me a while to rewind my life.
You think about it?
I would say I have never composted in my life. For real.
Yeah.
I've done compost demonstrations for others, but I've never done it myself. I don't want to be too negative. I'll just say that I just never did it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have that much food waste. You know, when you have frozen pizza every day, you don't have that much food waste.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah.
Good.
But I'm learning a lot, you know. Like, I'm learning on this show that I shouldn't be using a rototiller. I shouldn't be, and now I should be composting.
There you go.
This soil health is becoming a big issue, huh, Hunter?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It seems like it's like more like the future. It's looking at
taking
soil.
off.
Before we just, you know, rev up that rototiller and give me some 10-10-10 and let's rock and roll. Let's
That's
plant.
right.
Let's grow. But now it's got to be more holistic and environmental. So there you go. Mm-hmm. So I think you covered all that well.
Yeah.
That was
I'd
a nice
agree.
primer on composting.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's really all I had on composting.
Well, it's good. Hopefully somebody's inspired. Mm-hmm. Probably not Tom, but somebody.
Yeah, maybe, you know, there's probably one
I
person
still
out
like
there.
frozen pizza. Sorry, it's not going
Yeah.
to change.
And she told you can't compost that, so
Yeah.
it's out of the question.
That's right. That's right. No, it's a good idea. You know, it's totally a good idea. And also in the past, I've relied on compost like from the municipalities and stuff like that. So if they want to do the composting for me, that's all the better.
There you go.
But we'll talk about a little bit some
Gonna say,
adventures
shoot
with that.
some caution.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect.
Well, I'm going to jump in.
Are you
I am. I'm going to talk about planting some cold hardy bulbs.
cold hardy?
I know we're a little bit ahead of schedule, but
I thought you
I'm a
said
prepper.
it's going to snow in September. You
I
said
didn't say that.
we got frost
say that.
coming.
No. No,
Okay.
but we're also planning for a super special episode coming up, too.
Oh, really?
So,
How come you didn't tell me about that?
it's a surprise.
Am I being cut out of this show?
No.
Am I out of here with Hunter? Is
No.
that what's going on?
No.
You're going solo here.
I don't think so. Not at all.
Are you like a rock star going on your
No.
own now?
Nope.
You're breaking up the band.
I would
Kelsey.
not break up the band.
Okay.
I think you'll be the one to break up the band before I do.
You mean I'm moving to Florida or something?
You might. You talk
moving
about
to the
going
retirement
south.
home? Okay, maybe.
You talk about it, so
Maybe. But no, I think got to make our plans for
That's
planting
what I'm
bulbs.
saying.
You know, right?
I'm the
Got to
prepper.
order them. You got to order the stuff.
gotta order them.
Like I see ads for garlic now all the time. Got to buy the garlic soon. and-
Okay, well, put your plug. Where should people order
No,
from?
I can't say that because I.
Some places. Where are good places? You can list more than one.
There's a lot of good companies
Okay.
wherever you had success, and there's local garden centers that just look like when you look for any bulb, make sure it's a good size and
Yeah.
make sure it's firm and
You
not
always say
soft,
bigger the
not
better.
rubbery. That's right. For bulbs, it makes a huge difference. It really does.
Okay, well, let's jump in. I'm not going to cover garlic today, but I'm going to talk about some other cold hardy bulbs like spring flowering for us.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so our time. Like I said, we are a little ahead.
That's the way you
okay.
are.
I know. That's
You're
what I'm saying.
always planning ahead.
It's like perfect for me.
It is totally
Those
you.
Others,
Now, for me, that if it's mid-September through mid-October, I would probably start thinking about it about October 14th. That'd probably
there
about
you go.
me.
The day before. There you go. Mid-September, mid-October, kind of when our nighttime temperatures start to stay in that 40 to 50 degrees. We basically want to see those bulbs in the ground for about 4 to 6 weeks before that ground freezes. Okay? So as far as planting them, our location and stuff, we want a location that's going to get 6 hours of direct sunlight. Again, just like with everything, we want that soil rich, well drained. If you have to remove any weeds or any other garden plants that you're going to put like a new area of spring plant or spring flowering bulbs, get that organic matter, get that plant material out of there. You want to loosen that soil about 12 inches deep. And then, of course, anywhere you order from, it's going to come with those directions. Those directions are important. Follow them, right? And like you said, bigger the bulb, the better. So let me just ask you, without recommending places, what is the time frame? Like, if I order bulbs today, when would I get them?
Well, they're advertising their sales right now, so that means they're ready to ship.
They're ready to ship.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so
No, like pre-order right now.
You can like a week.
I know you get all the seed catalogs, so you know this.
I'm already getting seed catalogs for 2026 already. What's going on?
Yeah, that's your winter.
Amazing.
That's your winter reading.
That's well, it's my nighttime reading.
Yeah.
You know, so I can have nice dreams at night. I can dream about gardens. Yeah, I think there's bulbs. Like I was looking for amaryllis bulbs recently. They're ready to go. Some are even out of stock. Same with garlic. Garlic is actually very popular.
Yeah.
And most of the major seed companies or bulb companies will sell out. So
Get on it today, then. You can't wait till that October 14th.
You're right. You're right about that. Or you just get the worst ones, the worst varieties. You know, the stuff that tastes the worst. So yeah, you're right. You're right. There is a good. You've got some good qualities about you, Kelsey, about your planning. There is some positives to that.
Some negatives, but positives.
No, I'm trying to be more like you, so thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. You have a good positive influence on me.
Oh, okay.
I'm planning a lot. I'm usually at the studio on time. You know, I'm trying to do better.
There you go.
But so keep going, man.
Okay, so let's talk about protecting them. So when you do plant them and stuff, it's great to put a fine mesh fence, like chicken wire, over them. Again, we don't want any friends of our wildlife coming in and trying to dig them up. That'd be my dog. My dog would definitely do that.
How about the horses?
Probably not the horses. They're not going to be planted out in the pasture.
Oh, okay.
But the dog, she'd cause some issues. I got a dash hound. You know, they're bred to hunt badgers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they like digging.
She loves digging. My gopher holes,
So that's
my
why you put
ground
wire
squirrel
mesh over it.
holes. Man.
Is that right? I did have horses in my front yard once. It was on a morning of Dakota Garden Expo, one of the first ones. And there was like 3 horses in my front yard.
How many years ago was that? Because I was going to say, there's
10,
not
12
horses
years
in
ago.
your neighborhood.
Yeah, well, they're not that far away. They got out,
Yeah.
and they're just grazing my front yard, dropping their droppings and stuff. And I go, well, what am I going to do, man? I got to go to the expo. It was like 7:30 in the morning. So there you go. I had horses. So horses can get into your yard. Be careful.
They can.
Especially your horses.
Yeah, they can. Even mulching throughout the winter, that's going to insulate them and help. So that'll be really good.
Yeah.
And then just like before we get into some specific bulbs and stuff, like what are some reasons for possible poor flowering? So one, if you're Tom and it's October 14th, might be too late. That might be one of the reasons. You might have planted too shallow. Like I said, animals can go ahead and dig those up. Bulbs can even rot. If you've had it where they flowered that first year but not the second, might be in an area that's too shady. Or you went ahead and removed leaves before they yellowed and withered. We've talked about that in the past, how they need to come and store that energy down into their bulbs, right?
Right. The first year when you buy a bulb, it's got all the food that it needs. It's ready to go. So actually, I have planted bulbs in December and had good success.
Ooh, here?
No, that was in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I lived right next to a bulb company.
Oh, wow.
And they would give me thousands of free bulbs at the end of the year that I would give away to all the schools and churches in a neighborhood. Yeah.
What kind of bulbs?
Tulips and daffodils and alliums and hyacinths and
all of it.
All of that. All their leftover stuff. And so I would plant in December. It still worked, but you're right. It's not ideal. But it's the first year we're okay. It's like you say, the second year is when we can have some problems.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
That's right. They have to regenerate. The bulb has to regenerate itself. So that's why it's better if it's in a sunny area, because they can regenerate themselves.
Get that photosynthesis happening.
Yeah. The kind of interesting thing is some bulbs will tolerate a little shade, because when you think about it, the leaves of the trees aren't really fully open. And so, like, you can have some of these wild plantings on the edges of, like, woodlands.
Yeah.
And they get enough sun that they can regenerate themselves, just because the leaves aren't open yet. They're slow to open. So, and as far as your stupid dogs there, I recommend you plant daffodils.
Yeah.
You going to talk about that?
Got daffodils.
Okay, good. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. So let's talk a little bit specific ones. Crocus. You ever plant those?
Yes, I've planted all these. I love.
Okay, so you can tell us all the extra details. I just went with some, bold points. We want to start putting these in the soil when we're below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Space them 3 to 4 inches. And these guys work well in group plantings, as the picture shows here.
And they bloom so early. That's the thing about a crocus.
Crocus is the sign of spring. That's for me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, daffodils. Same thing. We're going to plant those when we fall below 60 degrees. They have a variety of colors, very fragrant. They are like a deterrent because of their fragrance. At least that's what people say, but...
See, the thing about a daffodil bulbs are poisonous.
Oh, so my dog would die.
Exactly. Daffodils, a scientific name of daffodils is narcissus.
Yes.
Which is the same as narcotics. So
is that where our narcotics come from?
Well, it's the same root word. And so, horses, dogs, squirrels, they're not going to eat daffodil bulbs. So
they know.
They might get a little high off of it, but
they know.
They're not going to eat. Yeah, it's toxic. So if you got a problem with wildlife, daffodils are a great way to go.
Yeah. So you think they work as a deterrent then, for sure?
They're poisonous.
Yeah.
So if they're not a deterrent, that wildlife's dead.
Taking care of it, yeah.
It's a wildlife control measure, maybe.
There you go.
But usually, wildlife's smart. They can figure it out after they get a bad tummy ache.
So these guys do need a little bit, fair amount of water during their growing period, but daffodils are great. But you kind of wish Dakota Garden Expo you would have had some out in your yard, huh? When the horses came. No comment.
I don't know what they were doing there. They're just grazing my lawn. That's all they're doing. And I don't know.
Okay. How about these? I'm not. How do you even pronounce
Fritillaria.
them? Okay.
Fritillaria.
Also known as guinea hen, which is kind of cool because this picture's harder to see, but if you get up close, they have guineas. I understand guineas. They have the pattern of a guinea, their feathers. Do you ever plant these?
Never on a. I don't know, maybe once, but I don't know. No.
Not that you're aware of?
No.
These are kind of cool when I came across these and stuff. Obviously, they're hardy for our zone and everything. They do need moist soil, even when it's dormant. So, if we had a droughty year, maybe not decide to plant these. They say that they have a stinky, skunky smell that is a good animal repellent as well. And when you order these, they should be kept in moist peat until the shoots or roots develop before you actually plant them. But they're interesting because they're a flower that they hook over and the flower opens facing the ground. So I can't say I've ever heard of any gardeners or seen these on any of the gardening tours, but kind of inspires me to think about adding these.
You mean
just because they're unique?
They're skunky?
No, because they're unique.
Order. Oh, okay.
There's not a lot of flowers that open face in the ground, right?
Right.
They face the sun. They face upper.
There's some wildflowers, though, but in general, you're right.
Yeah, so they're kind of unique.
Yep.
I like them. How about Gloria the Snow? You ever plant these ones? They're one of the earliest bulbs to bloom. They can be growing even when there's still snow on the ground. I'm guessing that's hence their name. They are a smaller bulb, so you want to make sure to not plant these ones too deep. Again, I guess these ones are kind of downward shape as well. You mentioned hyacinth, very fragrant. A lot of people are familiar with the grape variety. That's purple. They bloom around the same time as daffodils. And they grow actively again in the mid-fall. So that's kind of a bonus on these ones. And there is a famous planting I found out in the Netherlands. And they are known as the Blue River. I am curious if you've ever been there.
I've never been to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I've heard, yeah, of course, their springtime is spectacular with all those flowers going nuts.
Okay.
And,
You ever hear of the Blue River then?
I've never heard of the Blue River.
Yeah.
Must be the blue hyacinths, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's just so many blue hyacinths.
Yeah, I had to do a little Google to look at it.
I
It's
wonder what
pretty
that
unique.
smells like. Wow. It's got to be unbelievable. Like all those hyacinths. Hyacinths is very fragrant. That's the one that's fragrant. Right?
Is that your favorite?
No.
No.
My favorite is, I would say, parrot tulips.
Okay, tulips are coming.
Yeah.
Before that, let's talk about ornamental onions. So these guys are drought tolerant, and they actually prefer a dry soil, so they're going to do very well in North Dakota here. Animals do tend to leave them alone as well, and they can be planted a few weeks from a hard frost. So you're closer to that hard frost. If you're late, these ones are probably going to do all right.
Yeah, these can be quite, again, this is kind of a little bit like fritillaria, but it's easier to grow. They are special, and they're often like more in the background. It's just like a giant fireworks, a purple fireworks bursting open. So this fairly popular, but it just doesn't match the other major bulbs like tulips and daffodils and hyacinths
Right.
and crocus. This is like more like a specialty type.
Yeah. I'd say I've seen a lot of people with these ones out
Right.
there too, you know. So, and I just realized as I'm plugging forward here, I actually have a repeat slide, so I'm going to jump to tulips here. Of course, I know you've talked about tulips extensively on our show. A lot of wide variety of shape, sizes, and colors. This was something I actually did not know, that more of our modern cultivars only really bloom well for 3 or 4 years, and then you're supposed to replace them. I guess I just come back to when I was a kid, and my mom had tulips on the side of our garage, and every year they just came back up. So
She was a good gardener.
She did nothing for
Sometimes
them.
You don't have to be that busy all the time. Maybe sometimes if, you just got to trim off the seed stock, let the bulb regenerate itself, put it in a sunny place. But yeah, tulips do get tired.
Yeah.
Daffodils are more long-lasting.
So you said parrot is your favorite?
Yeah, like you said, there's different types of shapes.
They get those feathery petals on
Yeah,
them.
they're like so funky, man. It's like so. It looks
Do
like
you have a favorite color of those?
the black parrot is kind of like the coolest one. But for me, I like generally like the warm colors, orange, yellow, red. There's ones like that are parrots like that. And the parrot tulips they're only going to give you like 2 years. They're not that vigorous. If I had a planted tulip, if I was just a normal person, I would get a Darwin hybrid.
Yeah.
The Darwin hybrids are the most vigorous, and they have the biggest bulbs, and those are the longest lasting ones. And they have sturdy stems, and they're very showy. So like the apple dorns, the impressions, but they're all called Darwin hybrids. That's the most vigorous type and a good one to get started with. But there's like lily-shaped ones. There's ones shaped like peonies that are quite beautiful. Yeah, I used to have I had a garden that had like 60 different types of tulips in it.
Wow.
So yeah, they're
How
really.
about today's garden? Any tulips?
I did for a while, but I don't know what happened. I got old or something. I don't know what happened. Too busy with other gardening stuff. But that was when I was young and single, and
You just
I had
let
a community
them bloom in
garden.
the spring, and then
I had a community garden.
you gave bouquet of flowers to all the ladies attending.
Listen, when I was young and I had that community garden,
It was the hot spot of town, wasn't it?
It was at our county office, and I had a community orchard there too. And but as far as giving them to the girls, I didn't know many girls back then because when Extension, my dad told me, Tom, you're never going to get married because the only girls you ever see are either 6 or 60. So, and he was right. I had to get out of that job to find a wife. So, Hunter, if you're going to be an extension, you may have a hard time finding a partner.
Got it.
But that's a whole nother story. What else you got to say? What do you got to say about flowers? You're the flower person.
I don't know. Well, you're talking about like 60 tulips. That makes me think, who needs to go visit the Netherlands if you've brought the Netherlands home, you know?
Well, yeah, a lot of the bulbs were free because, you know, I got them from that.
By the bulb
almost
company.
right by the bulb company right across the border in Illinois.
Was your garden ever featured in newspaper or something like that?
Sure. Sure.
You should. Yeah,
The thing I remember from that is somebody complained in the community.
Oh, that's why I was featured.
It was on public grounds. What are we wasting our taxpayer money on this stuff for? You know, beautifying the community, like beautifying the county office grounds. And so then we just had to say, sorry, it was all free. And they go, oh, I'm sorry. I got nothing to say about that then. That's what I remember about that. I had a conflict there. But people would just come there and and then you can transition them into annuals later once the bulbs are tired. Yeah, so those are they're beautiful. Daffodils are very easy to grow, but they're all nice.
Very good. What do you got for us today?
Today I got lots of stuff to talk about today.
Oh.
And some of it's your fault, I have to say, Kelsey, because you insisted I talk about grass. And so
I just asked.
You requested.
Oh, I did?
And
was it demanding in my email? Ooh,
I could feel
the burn come through.
I could feel the request. Ooh. It was more than just a request. It was like, Tom, are you going to talk about fall lawn care? And
you decide,
okay, I will.
Sure, Kelsey, don't be mad at me.
Okay, but I got other stuff to talk about. But I'm going to talk about fall lawn care first. Okay, I would say 3 major activities in the fall.
Yes.
Sowing seed, fertilizing, and controlling weeds. So even I got a question yesterday on this. I said, when's the best time to do this? Okay, it's green light, yellow light, red light. Green light, now, go. Mid-August to mid-September is the time to sow your seeds. So right now, we're on the cusp of the best time to start sowing seeds because the ground's warm, the seeds will germinate quickly. Soon the temps are going to cool off, so there'll be less moisture stress on our seedlings. Also, another nice thing now is that whenever you disturb the soil, weed seeds germinate. But weed seeds are not as likely to germinate in the fall. They just know they're not going to make it before winter. Those weeds are smarter than you think. So mid-August to mid-September is the window to sow your seed. And so I'm going to talk mostly about that. People talk about fertilizing. Usually we want to fertilize in fall. That's the most important season. Right. That's the most impactful time. If I'm going to do one time, I'm going to do it in fall because that's when the roots grow, and I want to have a strong root system. And so I'm going to fertilize, but I want to wait until the temps cool off a bit because that's what really triggers the turf to start growing roots. So I would say if you could, let's just pause until around Labor Day. And that's the best time to fertilize. And then as far as controlling weeds, that's a red light right now. It really shouldn't be controlling perennial weeds. Shouldn't be spraying them yet because we want to wait until the weeds cooperate with us. And the weeds, if we get to mid to late September, the weeds naturally change from growing to protecting themselves by sending their nutrients down into the roots. And how do you kill a weed? You got to get the chemical down into the roots. So if we wait till mid to late September, we'll have a much more successful kill. Okay, so red light on that. Don't have to spray now. Okay, so how are we going to sow grass seed? The big choice is what type of seed do you use? When I look at what do I want a good lawn to be, on the left you see some traits. I want my lawn to be hardy. I want it to have a high quality. That means it's beautiful and full and soft to my toes. You know, really.
Because you're out walking in your lawn a lot, barefoot?
Or playing soccer with the kids.
Hanging out with horses.
Yeah, hanging out with horses.
Chasing the horses out of my lawn. Yeah. And I want it to be durable. So like when my kids tear it up, or like what do you get, the badminton going, and you have those, or volleyball going.
Oh yeah,
it's got to repair itself. So, and I want my lawn seed to germinate quickly, and I want it to tolerate shade because I got trees or my house causing shade. And a lot of us here in the western part of our state, salt is an issue in our soils.
Right.
So Kentucky bluegrass is the king. I would say
what everybody wants.
That's right. And why do they want it? Because it's hardy, and it's got high quality, and it's durable. Okay? It's the highest quality lawn. I'd say 95% of the lawns in North Dakota are primarily Kentucky bluegrass. But Kentucky bluegrass definitely has some shortcomings. The seed does not germinate fast. It can take 3 weeks to germinate. And Kentucky bluegrass cannot tolerate shade, and it cannot tolerate salty soil. So we got to find in our seed mix, we got to include types of seeds that will germinate quickly, will tolerate shade, and will tolerate salt. And that's why we use a blend. And in this case, I get these elements out of perennial ryegrass because it germinates fast. Okay, bluegrass takes 3 weeks to germinate. Ryegrass, 5 days. It's jumping out of that ground. And that can stabilize the soil for when that bluegrass comes up later. But of course, the ryegrass is going to die off from a hard winter just because it's not that hardy. But it does the job in the beginning. And then for shady or salty salt, you really have to focus on red or fine leaf fescues. And so that's the predominant element should be in your seed mix. So you put them all three together, and you got a good quality mix. There's some other notable grass species. Out here in the West, some of these rural mixes or mixes, low maintenance mixes, they'll have crested wheatgrass in them as one of their elements because it's very drought tolerant and it's okay. And same with turf type tall fescues. They're drought tolerant, but those wheatgrass and tall fescue are kind of bunch grasses and they're coarse. So just have to keep that in mind. Not as high quality of a lawn. And buffalo grass is a grass that's easy to maintain, but it only looks good in the summertime. So it can take the heat, but it struggles in the fall and struggles in the spring. So those are other notable types. But I think the big three, a mix of Kentucky bluegrass, the red or fine leaf fescue, and perennial ryegrass is the best way to go. So that's my tip. Select a mix that has a blend of species and varieties. I want a mixture. And even among the major types, like Kentucky bluegrass, I want more than one variety of Kentucky bluegrass because I never know what disease is going to come onto my lawn, and no variety resists every disease. So a blend is helps me. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So let's have a blend. And then get your seed from a northern seed source. We got local seed dealers here in Bismarck, Mandan. They'll give you seeds for this area. Got to be careful sometimes when you buy yours from a big box store, from a national brand, because maybe if they say where the seed's from, sometimes you can look at the package. Like if the seed's from Kentucky or Tennessee or Alabama, Texas. Might not, I've had people buy seeds from big box stores, buy a big bag of this hunkin' tall type turf, Kentucky 31 turfed. They sow it and they go, oh my God, this is the best lawn I ever had. But then in spring, it all died over winter. So the whole thing turns yellow. So be careful. And then also, you got to be committed to watering. You can't just throw the grass seed
and expect it to grow.
That's right. You got to keep the soil moist. For bluegrass, you got to keep it moist for 2 to 3 weeks. And that means ideally, you should be out there every day, lightly misting to keep the surface moist. And if you've got a huge area, which I've done, acre and a half, I at least try to get to it every other day. You got to keep the soil moist because that seed's very shallow, seed small.
Keep the dogs out.
Yep, and those horses. Okay, the other thing about turf I got to talk about, I'm going to move on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of mushrooms because going
That's
up
my yard.
Is that right?
Well, not that specific.
I promise I wasn't there. Yeah. But there's a lot of this. But people say, what is it? Can I eat it? Or how do I stop it? Okay, first of all, you never eat a mushroom unless you're 100% sure you know what it is and it's edible. Just let it alone. Just like a daffodil bulb. Don't eat daffodil bulbs either. Just let it alone. And as far as how do you stop it, you can't. Mushrooms are just nature. And there's no mushroomicide available. Sorry. You got mushrooms, they're decomposing organic matter. There's like old tree roots, old stumps, old lumber, something organic in that soil it's decomposing. So just if you can't live with it, just rake it out and leave it alone. Okay? Are you with me on that, team?
I just mow.
You grind them up.
Mow.
Really? Do you mow high? You should mow your lawn high.
I do mow my lawn higher.
You got tall mushrooms? You must have
some of them, yeah.
Really? Mine are kind of small.
Or like just, again, I don't know, no idea what type, but
Me
just
too.
a big fat.
Big fat mushrooms?
Yeah.
But do you ever eat them?
I don't even like table mushrooms, so no. I don't go,
Have
know
you ever
what?
had fresh mushrooms, like at the store, like those canned mushrooms?
Blech.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
You know, like that's what we talked about last time. Canned green beans.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible. Yeah. Oh, we're not going there. Do you like canned green beans, Hunter?
Not really, no.
See, I'm with you. You got potential, Hunter. I'm with you.
Okay.
Should I move on?
Let's keep moving on here.
Don't eat mushrooms. That's
the key.
Don't eat mushrooms from your lawn. What you do from the store is your decision. I don't want to tell you how to eat. But I think fresh mushrooms are delicious myself.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a lawn here's a garden in business.
I was going to say a lawn, huh?
Yeah, don't see the lawn? Oh, there's a garden in the middle of the picture too, by the way. And there's a guy sent me this picture and goes, Tom, what's wrong with here's my garden, brand new garden, looks great, right? But he says, look at my tomatoes. Wow. What's going on? They're all curled up, man. What's going on there? Is that a disease or something? Like, here's a quote. See how they're all curled and twisted, the tomatoes?
Hunter, do you know what's going on?
I have an inkling of what might be going on here.
What do you think?
Kind of looks like some herbicide damage.
Wow, how did that happen?
Well, maybe if we could do a little throwback to what I talked about earlier. Might be
Composting?
Yeah.
Dun-dun. Wow, you are an investigator, Detective Hunter. I'll tell you, you were trained well, I have to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're so right. They got their compost from the Bismarck
landfill,
or Burley County, or what is it? Burley County, Bismarck, from our municipal landfill. And when they develop compost, they don't filter the grass clippings. They don't have an interviews. Did you use Weed Be Gone on your grass clippings? Did you use Tordon or whatever? And so some of those clippings, they can have very persistent herbicides, and that's what happened to this guy. He put 4 inches of compost on his garden, and he worked it in, and the tomatoes all twisted, and that's because of the herbicide from the compost. Got to be careful about that. And the beans, they're also sensitive. See how the leaves are a little bit kind of rigid and kind of little curled a little bit? The beans were also showing the impact of that compost. Melons were pretty good. They weren't as sensitive to it. So what do you do if you got contaminated compost?
Yeah, you got it right up here. You're going to have to deal with it.
I should have had the first one. Curse at the municipality. Just what the heck you gave me this?
I really need to take a drive sometime because people have told me they have a sign that says "Do not use in gardens."
Of course.
I've heard that more than once.
They don't recommend it.
I feel there's
it's this person's fault. Yeah.
Maybe the sign's not big. I don't know.
Take ownership. But anyhow, you just be aware that this free to cheap compost is maybe contaminated. If you have contaminated garden, you got to be patient. You got to wait for that herbicide to break down.
Yeah.
The herbicides control broadleaf weeds like dandelions. So you can grow broadleaf vegetables. Like you can grow a lot of corn. You have a great corn crop. No weeds probably coming out of that.
Yeah.
And onions, that will work. You can kind of leach out the herbicide with water or buffer it by adding wood ash. I would focus more on the watering. Or you can just forget about it. Grow your vegetables in containers for a couple years. Don't plant a garden. And then you got to monitor for the presence of the pesticide to know when it breaks down. So how do you do that? You do a bioassay test, a simple one. So I'm going to get 3 to 6 pots, and I'm going to fill them full of potting soil. And then I'm going to get 3 to 6 pots of the mixture of this, my garden soil and potting soil. And then I'm going to plant a quick germinating crop that's sensitive, like beans. Okay? I know, let's say I grow 6 pots of potting soil. I know they're going to be perfect. They're not going to be all twisted. But I don't know about the others. See, the potting soil is my control treatment. But now the other mixture, the one potting soil with garden soil, those are the ones I'm looking at. And if they look twisted still, I know I can't be using that.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet. So that's what you got to do. And that's a test you could do this fall. So just beware. Another quick thing, I got a picture of this bed of elderberries, and the leaves are all curled. So I said, wow, that looks like herbicide injury. And so where did it come from? I said it could be spray drift. It could be contaminated manure. It could be contaminated straw mulching. And they said they just mulched the elderberry planting. So it's again that straw grass clippings. It's a source of herbicides. It's probably going to outgrow it though, but it's not happy today, that bush. Another common problem, people's tomatoes are ripening now, and they're seeing these brown rots on the bottom. Blossom end rot. Very common on the first flush of fruits. Sometimes people panic and go, oh my God, is my crop lost for the year? I'd say usually no. Usually it's the first cluster that's most affected. And so just pick off the fruits and inspect the green fruits, see if they got the rot. And pick them off. I mean, you can eat it. You can trim it off and eat it if you want. It's a calcium deficiency. It's not really a pathogen. But nobody wants to eat this. You don't want to eat this, Hunter?
No, not really.
Yeah. Only if I was starving, like on a survival show, and I wandered into a tomato garden with blossom end rot, I would eat it then. But otherwise, I just leave it alone.
There you go.
And get rid of it. And also try to keep some moisture in the soil, because that will help the calcium flow to the roots of the tomato plant. We've talked about blossom end rot several times, but now is a time when a lot of people are seeing it and they're panicking. Don't panic. Another thing, the blights on tomatoes are happening now.
Yep.
And my short answer there is make sure when you water, don't get the leaves wet, because the fungi love wetness. Don't water in the evening, because the leaves stay wet all evening. And avoid splashing the soil, because these diseases start from the soil and work their way up. Okay, so proper irrigation is the answer here. Potatoes are blooming. So people say, is that okay? Or what's going on? And it's natural. This is just natural for this plant to bloom and want to form berries. But for me, when I see this, I go, okay, now it's a different stage in the life of the potatoes. The potato vine now has tubers underneath in the ground, and those tubers are expanding now. So now is the most important time to keep some moisture in your potato bed to help our tubers expand. So as soon as you see blooming for the next 6 weeks, I really want to make sure there's some moisture there. Otherwise, also, I'm going to get scab disease, the number one disease on home garden tomatoes, with these little corky lesions on them. Again, these you can peel them off and eat them, but some moisture when you see the potato vines bloom really help right now. Okay, what else? One last thing to talk about today is apples are ripening now, and people, I've got some inquiries about when to tell when your apples are ripe. Okay. So these apples are ripe. And so for a red apple variety, I look at the background color, and you see how these have primarily a yellowish tinge to it. Yep. That's a good sign that the apple fruit is ripe. It's turned from greenish to golden. Like here, these apples, the background color is still green. They're not ripe. Okay, that's not ripe. This is ripe. And the other way I tell if it's ripe, I go out there and I try to harvest the apple. Okay, so I'm going to do a gentle upward twisting motion and gently pull it off. It'll come right off if it's ripe. If it's not, and I start pulling it down, then it's not ripe. It doesn't want to come off. And if I pull it down, I'm ripping off the flower buds from next year.
Yeah.
That's not good. Don't do that. So do an upward twisting motion.
Get your exercise in for the
Yeah,
day.
there you go. And I always used to have an apple bag to put my apple harvest in on our apple orchard. But anyhow, upward twisting motion, and it'll come up. Sometimes if you start seeing the apples falling to the ground, that's a sign that, come on, man, you got to get off the couch. And
How about the wasps?
yeah, okay.
I had that call last week.
Already?
Yeah, wasps and apples. And I said, did your apples get like any hail damage? Did they have,
wounds?
Yeah, codling moth going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So.
Well, the wasps are, they're starting to get hungry now, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Their population is exploding, just starting right now. And so if you have fallen fruits, there's a reason to pick up those fallen fruits.
Yeah.
And one is because they'll attract wasps, and also they may have insects inside that will try to overwinter underneath the tree. So if you have fallen fruits, that tells us a couple things. One is your fruits may be ripe now, and you should pick them. And the other thing is you should pick them just for good sanitation.
Get off the couch.
Get off the couch, right?
Very much.
Quit playing video games so much.
There you go.
So just every year's different, but here's a couple apple ripening times. We got for the State Fair and the Zest Fair, they're the earlier ones. They're just starting to ripen now. In most years, the mid-season would be mid to late September, and here's some Sweet 16, Honeycrisp, and Harold Red. And then our most popular later ripening apples include Harrelson and Fireside, and that's going to be the end of September. It fluctuates a little bit depending on how the warmth of the season is. Even like on the tree itself, you can have the outer branches that get more sun, they ripen faster. Or maybe if it's a southern exposure, western exposure, they'll ripen quicker. So everything's a little bit different, but those are some general principles of some of the most popular apples. And I think we're going to have a good harvest this year.
Very bountiful,
So
huh?
I feel positive about it. I'm a positive type of guy in general, though, on this show, right?
Is this your...
Only talked about a few diseases today.
That's right. Is this your orchard from growing up?
No.
No.
No, that's because, I just worked in my orchard. I didn't take pictures in my orchard. I was going to show a picture of my family in the orchard, but it didn't show enough apples. So we're here to talk about
You were disappointed in it, huh?
No, it's my family.
Well, I know.
My
so why
wife
didn't you
is
share
precious,
videos?
Okay, next week I'm going to show the picture.
Okay.
I don't think I had to make a last-minute decision this morning.
Okay.
What to include, and so, when you take a picture of your family in an orchard, you don't focus on the apples, right?
Right. You focus on your family.
That's right. So, is this a gardening show or like a dating show or a family show? It's a garden show. So, here's a picture of apples.
There you go.
Family. So, okay, I'll show the family next week. Or we could start a family show.
Oh, wow.
Do that, Kelsey. It could be a sequel. We can go for that next.
There you go.
Or we could have Hunter. Hunter can take that initiative.
I don't really know if that's up my alley. But
Thanks for offering, she's saying. I'll pass.
So, that's all I got. That's a lot. We covered a lot today.
That is a lot
man.
today.
Man, Power Pack
topics.
show.
You said it was going to be a good one. It was.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
Because we got a special guest here, You know, it's like
Thanks for joining
our
us.
secret sauce,
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, we good? We feel good?
I feel great.
last
Did you
minute
say you said there's a special show coming up or
There's
something?
a special
What's
show in
going
the
on?
work.
Are you is that a secret or?
I don't know. Is it? You tell me.
It's not a secret.
You're co-host. You make those decisions.
Yes. Yes.
We are going to go on a garden tour for our next one. How about
Okay,
that?
that's better. Is it a good garden tour? It's a good place? Do you know
went
anybody
recently. You told me it's great.
there? Okay.
Yeah, there's like one guy that I kind of know.
I
But
thought we were not doing a family show.
see, so now you do have to bring in a photo. Or just invite your wife on it.
Right, there you go.
So we'll have it.
Yeah, we're going to Minokan Farm and look at all the cool stuff they're doing
Yeah,
out there. All
we
the
are. It's in the
environmental
works.
gardening. And
So we'll have a special garden tour
it is a
show.
special place.
It'll be
it's
fun.
a cool place.
Okay, well, with that, thanks again, Hunter, for
Thank
coming
you.
on this summer. And of course,
Good luck.
as I've told
Good
you,
luck in
yes, I
Fargo.
wish
She's
you
going to
all the best
graduate
moving
studies now.
forward.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
She's been inspired.
Yeah.
Now she's going on for a horticulture career.
There you go.
Good luck to you.
Oh, thank you.
You got Tom's blessing.
Yeah, it sounds like I might need it, but
There you
You're
go.
going to do great.
Well, we just want to say thank you for joining us on today's episode, and we're very excited for our next upcoming episode. And of course, we hope that you will join us in all future episodes.
Dakota Growing is a gardening show brought to you by Dakota Media Access and NDSU Extension. We discuss a variety of timely topics pertaining to your landscape, along with giving you tips and advice for your lawn, garden, and trees. If you have questions, call 701-221-6865 or email ndsu.burley.extension@ndsu.com. Dakota Growing airs on Radio Access 102.5 FM, Community Access Channel 12 or 612 HD, or online at freetv.org.